Hello, people of the internet, on the mouth of the plan. Welcome back to the Kilmac League. It is week 38 in the Kilmac League. We're really moving on along. Not many games left to go, but first we have to start out with Central United and Greenway Rovers. Central United really looking for a win here to keep their title hopes alive, and they really put Greenway Rovers under a lot of pressure very early on. Greenway Rovers managed to beat the press early on, or so they thought, and this was a really good opportunity to score. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be all one-way traffic after this, but yeah, Lawrence Lawrence Figueroa had a really good game, and that was the best chance really of the first half for Centra. They continued to bombard the goal, and Lawrence Figueroa, as I said before, made a number of really impressive saves in this. But anyway, swinging this one in, really good save for Figueroa, but they continued in the second half, and this happened. Roberto Carlos bombarding down the left flank, I guess, trying to look for some movement in the box, and Dennis Bergkamp swings it in, finds Mussolini, and he heads it down. And Spoderman, he would have scored there if not for the presence of Joe Fitzpatrick. I'm really not sure what he was doing there, but he was lucky for Greenway Rovers that he was there. But yeah, this game could have ended in a defeat, but it ended in a draw, but that's about just as good for Centra. This result is devastating for them. They're likely to end the league now. This is likely the end of their league campaign. In fact, actually, I can tell you it is with Kent's losing with 4 games to go. This is it, yeah. So that eliminated them. Tough luck for Centra, but yeah, that was the best chance to score all the game between AS Flavins and Dunhill Electrical Company at the Camp Nou. But it finished 0-0. 2 teams that already were eliminated. Dunhill had relegation to avoid, so they did have slightly more to play for, and I guess the draw will be beneficial for them in that regard because it's at least a point gained. But yeah, really, not a whole lot going on there. Another team that was already eliminated was St Mary's Hurling, with their loss in the previous week to Kent FC. That pretty much knocked them out of contention as well. So they were up against Domino's Pizza Zimbabwe, who didn't have anything to play for either, really. They were more or less safe from relegation. In fact, if they could win here, it would secure that. But the chances of them getting relegated at this stage, very unlikely. But a fantastic bicycle kick there from Pengley got them in the lead. A very important result for them if they could hold on to it. As I said, it would mathematically secure them. But yeah, they continued to go forward. Neef O'Brien had a shot, just whizzed past the post there. And yeah, the St Mary's would not get a chance to equalise after that. And it finished 1-0. So great, yeah, certainly a great result for them. They're safe. They're safe in the Kilmac League for another year. 2 teams that were fighting relegation as a realistic prospect were Fire Station 3691 or 3196 and Rainbow Hall FC. It was certainly going to be an entertaining game from the huge ass Fire, but it was a very entertaining game. It lived up to that billing. Diego Maradona got the ball rolling on 17 minutes, just a really nice piece of dribbling inside the penalty area there, good close control. But it wasn't long before Joselu equalised, about 17 minutes that they had the lead for. Jose with a nice finish, getting in front of his defender there. So yeah, then this happened. It didn't take long for Fire Station to regain the lead. Diego Maradona played in Mr. Injuries on the wing, swung it in and found Maradona again. Brilliant link-up play. I mean, just fantastic stuff from the man himself. I mean, they call him one of the greatest of all time for a reason. Many people's eyes he is, and that's why. If he was playing on a better team, I'll tell you what. But Emer Martin then made a 3-1. Really nice finish, getting in behind the defence there. And it looked like at this stage there was very certain to be a Fire Station win. But they didn't have to endure a scare later on. Rainbow Hall marched down the other end of the field with about 7 minutes to go. And a very strong header into the goal there. That was Joselu again getting a second goal of the game. So there was still a bit of time for Rainbow Hall to potentially go for an equaliser. Fire Station would have to hold firm. But they did have a bit of a threat of a counter-attack to go as well. So very open game, but it would finish 3-2. A vital win for Fire Station. Really bad loss to take for Rainbow Hall. It's a massive result. It will lift Fire Station out of the relegation zone for the time being. Rainbow Hall are still out of the relegation zone. 2 more teams in this conversation: John Walters FC and Kildisco. So you have John Walters actually bottom of the league right now. But if they could get a win here today, that might change. John Walters getting forward, and he plays out to John Walters. John Walters got John Walters and John Walters in the box, and he finds John Walters, number 9, small little fella, and he puts it past MC Tyrone in the Kildisco net. Then they made it 2-0 before half time. John Walters, 9, getting his second goal of the game, really outmuscling his defence, outmuscling the defenders there. Very disappointing from the defence's perspective. But yeah, I guess that's just what happens. Chair swings it in, and he finds Kildisco. Kildisco does very well to score there. Oh, really nice stuff there from Kildisco. And then John excuse me. John Walters, 16, scored a really fantastic goal. I mean, it's just brilliant. I didn't expect anything like that to come from him, but it's a technically very well worked goal. I mean, the throw-in coming and beating his man and just getting that bit of space. I mean, MC Tyrone had no chance in the Kildisco net. We're gonna have a look at this again because it's really astonishing. I didn't think he'd score from there, but he did, and it's really, I mean, you can argue that the goalkeeper's a bit worse than it should be, but I don't think he would have got there even if he was positioned a bit better. Anyway, that gave John Walters FC a massive 3 points heading into the rest of the relegation dogfight for the season. They managed to hold off that goal threat, but even if it had gone in, it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, vital 3 points for them, and it doesn't lift them out of the relegation zone, but it gives them a great chance of doing so next week. Kilmac Thomas AFC hoping to recover from last week's defeat. They played Tesco Ballybeg Wanderers, but yeah, they managed. They were really desperate to get back to winning ways, because with Kent's due to play Byron Kilmeaden, there's no guarantee how that game would go, but Patrick Morrissey capitalised on that goalkeeping error and scored after 21 minutes to make it 1-0. Really, I mean, it's just a fantastic effort, you have to say. There's nothing really anyone could have done to stop that. Yeah, I mean, wow, it was fantastic. Louis Gallagher almost scored. He had 2 chances there, but just luck got in the way. Paul Scholes almost scored there as well. And it was really indicative of how the game went. Kilmac were dominant for large stretches of this game. And then William Murphy picked it up, and he fired it forward. It, I think, came to the keeper. Casillas went and collected it. Sean Navin fired over, and that ended the game. So yeah, a good win for Kilmac. It lifts them back to within 2 points of Kent's for the time being. Kent will have to play Byron Kilmeaden. That's a game they could lose, but if they win it, I mean, it's a huge boost for their title chances and a huge blow for Kilmac's. Kiersteys United, another team in title contention, were playing St. Declan's Athletic, and they scored pretty early on. That defensive block actually aided Matango Babongo in scoring, although to be fair, Hugi Bapbap-Spingy was there as well to pounce on any potential spills from the keeper. Hugi would get his goal later on, though he didn't have to wait, or didn't have to worry about not being on the score sheet. So yeah, things were going very well for Kiersteys, but St. Declan's did have a threat. The Printer linked up with the Brig very nicely there, and the Brig fired home. Really no chance for the keeper one-on-one there in a situation like that against him. But they somehow came out of the gate in the second half and forced an own goal. Marty Morrissey was the culprit there, unfortunately for him. But to be fair, there was at least 30 minutes to score another goal, and it was I'm sure it was. It was Mouseman, of course, who scored the third goal to make it 3-2, kind of a looping header into the far corner there, or near corner, I should say. But yeah, 3-2, and their lead was restored, and they tried a bit too hard, St. Declan's, to get back on top, a bit too quickly, and Matango Babongo broke forward and fired a rocket into the bottom corner of the net there. Really a fantastic goal, and it was 4-2. So the 2-goal lead was restored as quickly as it dissipated, even quicker, I should say, and it was 4-2, and that was the way the game would end. Really good win for Kiersteys. Wasn't 100% convincing, but they deserved it on the balance of play, and it's a vital 3 points in the race for the title. So we move on now to another team in the hunt. CF Dungarvan were away to Portlaw United. Portlaw eliminated themselves, but a very good team nonetheless, and nobody could afford to take them lightly, especially at their own home ground. So yeah, Portlaw started out in the attack, but from a corner from Portlaw, Dungarvan broke. and Sean O'Neill opened the scoring, and Shannon Kenny did get a hand to that, but I guess there was just too much power on it, or it could have been poor goalkeeping, I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody. But yeah, Portlaw nearly scored, and not sure who that was who stopped it, but yeah, props to them, because they kept the score at 1-0. I don't think Thomas was going to get there in time. So yeah, they were looking to break forward again, Dungarvan, and Eusebio. I mean, if you want someone to score, it's going to be him, and he did that. That's pretty impressive. But that's just Eusebio doing Eusebio things, and I mean, we're going to have a look at it again, because it's fantastic. He goes across the keeper. It's just so hard to stop. It's a fantastic goal from a fantastic player, and definitely Dungarvan's star man for the season. I mean, no, what can you say about that? It's fantastic, isn't it? It's just fantastic. And Tommy Harty had a bit of link-up play there involved. The dynamic duo scoring most of Dungarvan's goals, and yeah, I mean, just a really lovely, aesthetically pleasing goal to get. But yeah, they break forward again, Portlaw. They wouldn't be defeated so easily. Sergio Ramos then played in Sean Power, and despite their best efforts, they would not be able to score. Yeah, so a 2-0 win. Really good stuff from Dungarvan. TFR were another title-chasing team. They were away to Rathgormack. They could afford to encroach on the top two, coming in 3 points from with a win here today, but that wouldn't be easy. And in fact, very early on in the game, Rathgormack actually took the lead through some very callous defending from TFR. They were really all over the place to start this game. And Willie John Kiley was able to turn his man and stick it into the far corner. Then Paul Casey couldn't get there in time. But I mean, this is a team that's chasing the title, so they're going to go for it. They're going to go all out now. Somehow Louis Power didn't score that. I mean, it was really, Levi Ashton was going mad with his defence, but yeah, I mean, I guess he had a right to. Yeah, room 55 Fishy then hit a speculative shot, and Louis Power did great to win the ball back then and to make up for his error, to just curl it into the far corner there to make it 1-1 before half time, giving TFR a whole half at which to look for that lead goal. They did have this chance where it was squared to Caelan Quinn from Louis Power, and I don't know what happened there. But yeah, 1-1. Really, it's a blow for TFR. They are not out of the title race yet by any stretch, but they would have liked to have won today. And that about concludes our coverage for week 38. I've been the man with a plan. Thanks for watching my videos. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Kilmac League content coming to a theatre near you. Until then, stay tuned.